Alright, I gotta get it out of its jumbled form. Boy, this piece is just hanging on here. And I wonder if I did something to the orbits too. But basically I'm just going to try to create sides that make cohesive sense. So this may line up to here, though not really. This lines up here. So this lines up here. Alright, so not bad. I don't want to dwell too much on the jumbling aspect of it. Right, Jessica? Let's see, where might you go? You might go here. Except for the fact that you probably don't.
What?
Let's see. You don't want to be here and you don't want to be here. So let's be honest with each other. So I'm going to move this to here. And, oh, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Maybe I'm going to exchange you via this side. So let's move you to here. So maybe I can move this to no. Okay. Well, this likes it over here, I think. Well, maybe not. Some of this is just kind of trial and error. And I keep wondering if I'm just making it more hopelessly scrambled to a point where I might have to do damage control. Okay, this comes to here. I think we like that. Okay. To here, maybe I can do some exchanging here. This likes this. This comes here. And okay, created a side here, but this can do better with that.
Oh, really? I'm sure she does.
Okay,
I called her though.
I think we're very close.
I'll tell her. Oh, yeah.
Aha! So the jumbling is out, but I wonder if I hopelessly scrambled certain pieces that will never be in right. And maybe these have been taken out. So I'm going to try to move these. So I'm going to pick it up from here and start the non-jumbled portion of the solve. And although I've worked out some algorithms, there's always some issues that might have to do with the fact that these actually move by way of orbits. I notice that when I turn this, this can only go to certain places. Like it'll go to here and then I can turn it around to other various places, but it's very predictable where it's going to go. However, when I jumbled it, I might have taken it out of an orbit, and I don't really have any orbital algorithms. So this could be a little more complicated. So in terms of the strategy of solving, although it's a very complex puzzle, it still is the simplest order of the puzzle. In other words, it's not a master version. So in many ways, it's like a three-layer. If you count this as a layer, this whole gamish as a layer here, and all this as a layer, then you can say it's a three-layer. So there's a variety of different strategies. So it's one thing to work out the minutiae of the puzzle, and that's various algorithms and commutators to do 3 cycles. So that's the first part that I look at. The next is looking at the overall organization to see the general solve strategy. In other words, am I going to do it by reduction? I usually do that if it's like a master puzzle or a hybrid puzzle where I reduce it to another kind of a puzzle. This is pretty pure. In terms of reduction, we may want to start reducing some of these areas here, or do we do it incrementally? An incremental solve is where you start placing pieces. Like if I were to solve this guy here, I would solve for corners, and then I would solve for edges, and then I would solve for these guys. Or we can do it layer by layer, like this guy over here would be layer by layer. So is it going to be, well, probably not by reduction, because it is the simplest form of an icosahedron. It's not a master version. I could do it incrementally where I put in all the pieces of one kind, then pieces of another kind, and do that all the way around the puzzle, but that could be kind of cumbersome. Or I could do it layer by layer. Layer by layer is I do everything all the pieces on one side and I keep moving it down. So we'll see what kind of comes out with this, but my temptation is to go ahead and do like a layer by layer kind of a solve. But I think incrementally, I know that certain algorithms will move only certain pieces, while other algorithms will move a lot more pieces. So there's kind of an incremental notion to this. So in other words, I know I can move these guys without moving anything else. I know I can move these guys without moving anything else, but not the corners, not these outer areas over here, and I'm not sure about the edges. So that tells me that doing it layer by layer could be a little challenging with doing damage control. Plus, I may have taken some things out of orbit. So just because you've designed algorithms doesn't mean the challenge hasn't begun. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. Now, I rather suspect that these pieces over here don't scramble. They don't even jumble away. So I think that the first thing that I would do is simply turn these pieces in without having to do any actual solving. The centers are separate, so I'm going to just turn this around until I see something of the same color, and I don't, so maybe that's not where it belongs. So I'm going to move this around until I find, aha, so this belongs over here. So if my theory is correct, I should just turn this, okay, so now that's in. So as I do that, I should just be able to turn the other colors in. Okay, now I notice this one doesn't have, it doesn't have a similar one over here, so I'm just going to move it to here. And then I'm going to turn this around. So this is over here, which means all I have to do is keep turning this like so, and this is in. Okay, so far my theory is correct that these guys don't actually scramble. Looks like this one is already in, so I guess that's good. So this white one here, I'm going to keep moving this until another white one comes in, and another white one should come in here. Okay, so deceptively simple, but there it is. Okay, so this is yellow. So now I've got all the yellow ones in. This will be green. I've got the green ones in here. So very quickly, I'm simply turning these until they're in position. So that's good over there. So this is a lot like the tips of a pyramix. So this is all in over here. This is in over here. So I'm basically setting it up to where I don't have to figure out where the sides are. The sides are just already predefined by these pieces here, and I'm just sort of moving simply around the entire puzzle. This green one belongs here. So as suspected, these parts don't scramble with each other. They simply get rearranged. Not even rearranged. They simply get moved away from each other. So now that I have these, this basically decides what the colors are going to be of the side. So now the question is, it's only going to get more complicated from there. Where do I go from here? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in these edges over here. Looks like, well, I thought I had something of a head start here. It looks like I do. Okay. So I've got the green and orange one here. Let's go ahead and put the other green and orange one. Now I could do this layer by layer or just keep doing this all throughout the puzzle. But let's see if I can find green. Here's a dark green and light green, so that's this. And I guess what the best way to do this is just do like a sliding U kind of a technique with it, where I move it in one angle, then move it out in another angle. So what I mean by that is I like this where it is, so I'm going to get this out of the way and cycle it with this. So we're going to go up to put it in, turn to just get out of the way, bring it down, and then back. So in that way, that places it here, and then I simply put this back, back in over here. Okay, so I've got these two. Ignore this for now. So now I'm looking for the light green and dark green. And let's see if I can find it. So this part shouldn't be too much of a problem. I know I did something of an algorithm with it, but I shouldn't need to use that because it's really just it's the simplest of 3 cycles. And I'm going to do this around the puzzle because I don't think any of the other algorithms took this out. Once this is in, it's locked in place. So let's find it. Oh, this is in here too. Okay, right over here. So I'm going to move this in. I'm not worried about knocking anything out because it's really, you know, not scramblable. So move this here and here and here. Okay, so this is a dark green and this is a dark green here. So I'm going to want to turn this upside down, which is what I'll do. And turn. So, okay, good. Dark green. So I'm going to move this into place here because I want it to line up here. So we're going to go turn, knock it out, turn it down, bring it back. Okay, so that's in over here. So I just move it like so, and now this is in. Now I took a whole bunch out, but that's not really a big problem because, like I say, this isn't really scrambled per se. So for instance, this got knocked out. I just have to turn it back in. I'll go ahead and do that, but I think that'll be less and less necessary. But just for the sake of completeness. Oh, I really did move a bunch out. Okay. So I've got these all in. So this green, that's going to be my base side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get those around it. Now what I could do is let me just do all of these as though this were a false side. So I've got this here. So now I'm going to move these greens in. This is green and turquoise. So green and turquoise. Where are you? Right over here it looks like. Light green and turquoise. So I'm going to move this into position. Now you can see how smooth moving this muscle is. How smooth moving this puzzle is. I love Raphael's work. Some of the best 3D printed playable puzzles I've ever had. Sometimes people design really brilliant puzzles, but you can't really use them because they're just too rigid or stiff or something like that. I've got a couple puzzles like that. But Raphael's work is always quality and always just a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to move this into here, get this set up, move it in, bump it out of the way, move it down, and I don't have to move it back because it's already here. Okay, I'm not going to worry about getting these back as of yet. I'm going to continue this layer by layer approach here. So these are all in, this is in green and yellow. The reason why I like doing it layer by layer is because there's less hunting around the further out you are. So looking for light green and yellow, right over here. So I have to make sure that the orientation is correct. Oop, where did you go? Right here. Okay, this orientation is not correct. So let's turn it around. And turn. No popping with this puzzle. That's good. Okay, I want to move it into here, so let's move it in like so. So we're going to move it in, bump it out of the way to move this in its place, get this out of the way, so now this is in. Okay, so we have all these in. I might as well start moving some of these back. I know that I took a bunch out, and just so I don't lose my perspective of what goes where and why. And you can see it's not a problem. There's no reason to maintain its position. Although some of them are fairly close to my workspace, so I'm just going to put them back in. Okay, not bad at all. Okay, so this is good here. Now the yellows, yellow and white. I thought I saw the yellow and white here somewhere. Yellow and white, yellow and white. Well, here's a yellow and smaller yellow, or later yellow, strange color yellow. So let's move this out of the way, bring this across here, smooth this back since it's very close to our workspace. Bring this across here. I'm going to try to move it into this space over here. Okay, good. So this is in the right area here. Turn it in, bump it out of the way. We then turn this down, which is good because it actually put this one in quite by accident. And then move it back. Boom. So this is in. Yellow and white is probably now, statistically speaking, I'm more likely to find it if I just hold this here. Oh, okay, lost perspective there for a second. Yellow and white right over here. So let's find our way here. Right down here. Okay. Throwing caution to the wind because I can. Okay, this is not on the right side, so we have to turn it upside down. Where did you go? Right over here. Oop, not quite ready yet. Okay, this will work. Okay, so it's going to move in from here. So I'll move this into place. Now it's going to bump it out of the way. It's going to move in from here. This is already spoken for, I believe. Yeah, this is a... Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is already spoken for. So I got to move something else in. I really don't want to bump this out of the way. Is this spoken for? No. It will be soon, but not yet. I'm just going to work on this. Okay, so I'm going to move this here. We're going to go up, turn, down, back. It was almost painful moving this out of the way because it was already in, but in any case, now this is in. So let's get things back, like so. Okay, let's keep our perspective about us here. We've got these in, we've got these in, we've got these in, and now we're going to move on to these guys here. So dark yellow and pink. And let's get these back in. Dark yellow and pink. Hangs out right over here. You have to put the orange one in anyway. So that's here. Not at the right angle. Okay, this will work just fine. This wants to come into here. So move it up to put it in. Move it out of the way. Moving this in its place, move this back down, and move this across. See, no algorithms needed in this case. We can just think our way through it. Okay, let's just kind of get things back. All right, finally, yellow and orange. Oh, I was thinking these were, we already put those in. So yellow and orange, where are you? Well, let's not wander too far. It's probably closer than I think. Usually that's what happens with puzzles. Aha, right over here. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. I got to be careful that I not destroy anything that's already done. So let's move it away from here. Move it up to here. Gonna have to do a lot of damage control, but that's okay. Okay, so this will move into here nicely. To be exchanged with what? Well, not with this. I have to do a 3-cycle. This will move in. This will move in its place, but I don't want this one, but this one. So I'm going to move this instead. Then I'm going to go turn, bump it out of the way, replace it with this by bringing it down, bring this back. Now I have to remember to reconstruct this back in here. Okay, so looking at what we've got, all of these are done. Oh, what happened with my orange? Here's an orange. Orange and looks like a red. Orange and red. Orange and red. So I'd say the challenge of this step is not much worse, right here, not much harder than the previous step. It's just taking a little bit more positioning. Oop. It's right here and turn. Nope. It's upside down. Okay, this is better. So it's going to exchange with this. I've got to move something else in its place because it'll come in through here and then move in, be replaced by this. Nope. So I'm going to do 2 moves, 1 and 2. I just have to remember to move it back starting with this move over here. So turn, bump it out of the way, bring this down, and turn it back. Boom. Okay, so this is in. Now remember, I turn this like so, and then it doesn't really matter at this point, but oh, actually it does. Turn this back over here. Okay, so this pseudo side is done. All these are in, and I have a choice now. If I wanted to continue my layer by layer motif, I could just do that. What I could do is, now that all these are in, just start putting all these guys in and then put the corner in and just take it from there. I could do that because the 3 cycling is not really much of a problem. You know, why don't I do that? Because even if, well, actually, come to think of it, that might not be a great idea as I think of it. And the reason is because what if I have something that's out of its orbit? If something is out of its orbit, then I'm going to have to do some more jumbling maneuvers. So here's what I think I need to do. I need to make sure these are all in the correct orbit before I start doing anything layer by layer, which means I got to put these in first. So it looks like what I'm going to have to do is get these guys in and then put these in all around to see, just make sure there's no parity issues, because it might not be reduced in exactly the right way. So it's kind of a semi-reduction. I guess that's what you can think about jumbling puzzles, is we're reducing a jumbling puzzle to a non-jumbling puzzle, and you might end up with a parity of reduction. So even though this is the base puzzle, you know, it's not a master version, there still is something of a reduction and the potential for parity, which you don't get with non-jumbling puzzles. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and continue and put all the rest in. It's really not a huge problem. This is where it's supposed to be, it's just upside down. So let me just move it out. Turn, 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 and turn. Okay, so now this, oh, okay, oh, this was a different one. Interesting. Okay, this is what I'm working with. And this will work just fine. So I'm going to go, I want to move this into this spot. So I'm going to put this here, and it'll exchange with this, which is not done yet. So up, turn, down, back. So you can see this is in. I'm just going to move this to here. So now this is in. So now I'm into the gray and red. Right here. Okay. Gray and red. Gotcha. Okay. And I got to move this gray in anyway. So where are you going to go? You are upside down. So let's move you down. And let's right side up you. Turn here and here. Okay, that should do it. So this should come into here. Gray and red is going to come into this area here. So up, move it out of the way, and down. Okay, now I've got a lot of pieces that are not where it should be, so that might cause some confusion and delay. If you have any kids, you know that that is the worst thing that Sir Topham Hatt can say to any of its engines. The worst insult. You have caused confusion and delay. Looking at what we have, let me get my perspective here. So we just did all of these, and now we're working on these guys here. Okay, so all the reds are in. We can work on this, and then work on this, and just keep going all the way around. So I'm going to keep doing this until the last layer here, just to see if there's any complications, but otherwise it's just a matter of finding the pieces. Okay, so I got some more done. I've got this, and this done, of course. These, and these are done. This is done as well, so is this, and so is the white one. So really, I'm now down to, I think, getting to the last layer. So we've got this one over here. Working on the pinks, pink and silver. Well, actually, here's a pink and this color, and it's kind of upside down here. So we're going to move it to here and to here. Okay, this one is not in, but I want to bring it to here. So we're going to put this in its place, move it up, move it out of the way, turn this down. Okay, so this is in. Keeping my perspective about me here. So now this is in. Got to put this pink one in pink and purple, which is this guy over here. Yes, so that'll work quite well. I'm going to move this in place to here. Boom. Move it in. Bump it out of the way. Move this back. Okay, so this is in. So now we're getting to the nitty gritty a little bit here. This red doesn't belong there, it belongs over here, which means I still have this red and purple, which is this guy over here. He's upside down. I hope I didn't take that out. And actually, as I think of it, I might have done that. So this will come here, and we're going to temporarily bump this out of the way. So this will come up to here. So let's see. Doing a lot of deconstructing, so I just have to remember everything that I did. This will move into here to be substituted with this. I just have to remember to move this down. So our 3 cycle, turn it in, move it out, turn it down, move it back. Okay, now this I moved, so I gotta bring that back out of the way, move this down here, so now these are in. And this was already solved. Okay, so these are in, these are in. What have I left? I've got dark blue and dark purple. Which is somewhere. You, perhaps? No, it should be a little darker than that. And actually, I don't think this is placed correctly. Okay. Yeah, it's actually not dark blue and dark purple, it's red and purple. What kind of red? This red. So this red and purple. Okay, so moving it to here, nope. Moving it to here, yep, it'll come up to here. So I'm going to move this in the right place, move it in, bump it out of the way, and move it down. Okay, that renders this one in. So now all these are good. My grays are good. So I think at this point I can turn this upside down and just focus on all of these. And this is where I might want to get into algorithms, but I don't really think so. I think we can just do this by positioning. So here's, let's make sure that these centers are correct, and they're not. This goes like this. Okay. So purple and light purple, which appears to be this. This is upside down, so we're going to have to do a little bit of fancy footwork. Move this like so, move this like so. Now we can move it in and it belongs over here. So that means I can move this out of the way, but I don't know if I want to do that. I think I might want to move this out of the way. But let's, in any case, move this in and bring this in line. So we have turn, 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 and turn. Now there's a bunch of things that I did, such as turning this over here, and this turns over, well, gotta be careful, this turns here, and this turns here. Okay, I had to do the right order or else I would have undone everything that I did. So I still have these three. Now there was that algorithm that I did to cause a 3 cycle of these, but I shouldn't have to rely on that. This needs to go here. Oh. There's a third one out. Okay, yeah, I knocked something else out. A silver one. Okay, looks like I did a little bit of damage here, but I can move this silver one easily, and I'm just going to do that. So we're going to go down, down, up, up, and we'll move this back down. Okay, so yes, so this is now right side up. This will move to here, and then I'll move this one in, and this will be right side up. So we're going to go up, across, down, and back without destroying the puzzle. Okay, so this is in, all of these are in, I think. So what we have is we now have all these centers which are easily placed. These were fairly easily placed with the 3 cycle. I just had to get those last 3 that are in, and now we're ready to do the actual nitty-gritty of the solve. This was just kind of preparation, because the next step now is to get these guys in. Now normally what I would do is I would do it layer by layer. However, I think I need to get these in to make sure there's no parity. By parity, I mean when I did the jumbling, I might have jumbled it into the wrong orbit, which is going to be interesting.